Take a look at any photo of yourself where you genuinely loved how you looked, one of those rare pictures where you thought, that's exactly how I want to be seen. Now take a look at a photo where something felt slightly off. Even though your hair was done and your makeup was perfect. I'd be willing to bet the difference between those two photos has almost nothing to do with your face, your body, or your age. It has to do with the neckline of whatever you were wearing. Here's something almost nobody explains clearly. The neckline of a garment sits closer to your face than any other single design element in your entire outfit, which means it has more influence over how youthful, tired, or elegant you appear than your dress color, your jewelry, or even your hairstyle. Certain necklines lift the whole face instantly. Others, one so common you've probably worn them 100 times without a second thought, quietly drag everything downward. Today, I'm going to show you 7 necklines that instantly make mature women look younger and more elegant, and 3 specific necklines you genuinely need to avoid, no matter how much you love the rest of the outfit. Number 5 on the flattering list is the one stylists quietly reach for again and again, and the reason why might genuinely surprise you. Stay until the end, because you're about to look at your entire closet completely differently. Welcome back to Elegant Beyond 60, the channel built on one simple belief, that looking beautiful after 60 was never about spending more money. It was always about knowing more information, the kind that actually changes how an outfit reads the moment you put it on. If you're new here, hello, I'm genuinely glad you found us, especially today, because neckline is one of those details so many women completely overlook, even though it matters enormously. And if you're one of our regulars, welcome back. You already know we love digging into these specific, practical details together. Today we're talking about necklines specifically, the 7 that lift and flatter a mature face instantly, and the 3 you should genuinely think twice about before wearing again. This is honestly one of the most useful style conversations we've ever had on this channel, because once you understand how necklines interact with your face, you'll never shop the same way again. Before we get into it, if you've ever looked at a photo and felt like something was slightly off without knowing why, do me a quick favor and tap that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it helps this channel keep reaching more women exactly like you. While you're there, tap like too, it tells me exactly what topics to bring you more of. Alright, let's get into neckline number 1, because it might already be hanging in your closet. Before we get into the specific necklines themselves, I want you to understand the underlying principle at work here. The neckline of any garment creates a frame directly around your face and neck, the exact same area where mature skin naturally softens slightly, and where visual attention concentrates the moment someone looks at you. A neckline that opens gently, creates a bit of vertical line, or draws the eye upward will lift the whole face. A neckline that closes tightly around the neck, cuts straight across in a hard horizontal line, or adds bulk right at the collarbone will do the opposite, dragging attention downward and adding visual weight exactly where you don't want it. Neckline number 1, the V-neck. Let's start with the most reliably flattering neckline available to virtually any woman, and there's a very specific reason it works so consistently well. A V-neck creates a clean diagonal line running from the shoulders down toward the center of the chest, and that downward pointing V shape draws the eye in a vertical direction rather than horizontal. Vertical lines elongate, they lift, and they create the illusion of length through the neck and upper body, which is precisely what counters the natural softening that happens with age in this exact area. The depth of the V matters here too. A moderate V, dipping a few inches below the collarbone rather than either barely there or dramatically plunging, creates the most universally flattering effect. Too shallow and you lose the elongating benefit entirely. Too deep and the emphasis shifts away from the face and toward the chest, which isn't the effect we're going for here. Neckline number 2. The scoop neck. A scoop neck with its soft rounded curve rather than the sharp point of a V, offers a gentler version of that same elongating principle. The soft curve draws the eye in a smooth, continuous line from shoulder to shoulder, creating an open, airy feeling around the neck and collarbone without any hard edges or straight lines to contend with. This softness pairs beautifully with mature skin specifically, because it echoes the natural softness already present, without creating any harsh contrast. A wide, gently scooped neckline also has the added benefit of drawing attention outward toward the shoulders, which creates a subtle broadening effect across the upper body that many women find genuinely flattering, especially when paired with simple, understated jewelry that doesn't compete with the neckline's natural elegance. Neckline number 3. The sweetheart neckline. Borrowed from formal and bridal wear but genuinely wonderful for everyday elegance. The sweetheart neckline curves gently in two soft arcs, meeting in a subtle dip at the center of the chest. This shape does something particularly clever. It echoes the natural curve of the collarbone rather than fighting against it, creating a seamless, flattering transition from the garment to the skin itself. This neckline works beautifully because it avoids any hard lines entirely, replacing them with soft, continuous curves that feel inherently gentle and romantic rather than severe. It's an unexpected choice for many women over 60 simply because it's associated with more formal occasions, but a subtle, everyday version of this neckline in a simple blouse or sweater delivers all the same flattering benefits in a completely wearable, casual way. Neckline number 4. The off-the-shoulder. Here's a neckline many women assume is reserved for younger women, when actually it does something remarkably flattering for mature necks and shoulders specifically. By sitting just below the shoulder itself rather than at the neck, this style draws the eye outward along a horizontal line at the widest, most structurally solid part of the upper body, the shoulders, rather than concentrating attention at the neck where softness tends to develop first. This neckline also has a wonderful secondary benefit. It naturally opens up the collarbone and upper chest area, creating length and openness in exactly the area a closed, high neckline would otherwise compress. A relaxed, not overly tight off-the-shoulder style, worn with a bit of ease rather than snugly fitted, reads as effortlessly elegant rather than costume-like or overly youthful. Alright, pause with me for a second here. If any of these first 4 necklines just made you think of something already hanging in your closet, comment below and let me know which one. I read every single comment, and it genuinely helps me plan future videos around exactly what you need. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, now's the perfect time because we've still got 3 more flattering necklines coming, plus the 3 you genuinely need to avoid, including one that's probably sitting in your closet right now without you realizing why it's been quietly working against you. Let's keep going. Neckline number 5, the cowl neck. Here it is, the neckline I promised you at the very beginning, the one stylists quietly reach for again and again, and the reason is genuinely simple once you understand it. A cowl neck features soft, draped fabric that falls in gentle folds around the neck and upper chest, rather than sitting flat and structured like most other necklines. That soft draping does something remarkable. It creates natural shadow and dimension around the neck area, which actually helps disguise any softening or looseness in the skin itself, simply through the visual complexity and movement of the folded fabric. Unlike a high, tight turtleneck, which we'll get to shortly on our avoid list, a cowl neck maintains that same soft, cozy coverage while still creating an open, elegant silhouette rather than a closed, constricting one. It's genuinely one of the most forgiving necklines available for mature women, precisely because the draping does so much visual work without requiring any specific body type or neck length to look wonderful. Neckline number 6. The asymmetrical one shoulder. This neckline creates immediate visual interest through its inherent asymmetry, with fabric draping across one shoulder, while leaving the other bare or minimally covered. That asymmetry does something clever for the whole face and upper body region. It creates a diagonal line running across the chest, similar in principle to the V-neck we discussed earlier, but with even more dramatic visual movement and interest. This style works particularly well for special occasions or evening wear, since the inherent drama of the asymmetry pairs beautifully with a bit more polish and formality. The diagonal line draws the eye continuously across and upward, creating length and visual interest that a simple symmetrical neckline simply can't replicate in quite the same way. Neckline number 7. The wrap neckline. Our final flattering neckline is genuinely one of the most versatile and universally flattering options available, borrowed from the classic wrap dress silhouette that has remained elegant across decades precisely because it works so consistently well. A wrap neckline creates a soft V shape, similar to our very first entry today, but with the added benefit of adjustability, since the wrap style can typically be tied slightly looser or tighter, depending on your preference for that particular day. What makes this neckline especially wonderful is the diagonal crossing effect it creates, drawing the eye in 2 directions simultaneously, both up toward the face and across the body, creating a sense of movement and dimension that a static single-line neckline can't achieve. It's an incredibly forgiving, adaptable choice that works beautifully across nearly any body type or occasion. Now let's talk about the 3 necklines that genuinely work against you, no matter how much you might love the rest of the outfit they're attached to. Avoid number 1. The high, tight turtleneck. This is genuinely one of the most common mistakes among mature women, largely because a turtleneck feels cozy, practical, and appropriately covered. But a high, tightly fitted turtleneck does the exact opposite of everything we just discussed. It creates a hard, constricting horizontal line right at the base of the neck, cutting off any sense of length or openness entirely, and often creating visible compression against the softer skin in this area, which draws unwanted attention rather than deflecting it. If you love the coziness of a turtleneck, look instead for a looser, more relaxed mock neck or a slightly looser turtleneck that doesn't sit tightly against the throat, allowing at least some breathing room and softness rather than rigid compression. Avoid number 2. The boat neck cut too wide. A boat neck, cut correctly, can actually be quite flattering sitting horizontally along the collarbone. But when cut excessively wide, extending too far toward the outer edges of the shoulders, it creates a long, unbroken horizontal line that visually widens and shortens the entire upper body, working directly against the elongating effect we're looking for throughout this entire video. If you love this style, look for a more moderate boat neck that sits closer to the natural collarbone, rather than extending dramatically toward the shoulder's edge, preserving some of the flattering horizontal interest without the excessive width that shortens the silhouette. Avoid number 3. The high, ruffled cravat collar. This particular neckline, featuring a high, ruffled or heavily gathered collar rising up toward the chin, adds significant visual bulk and volume in exactly the wrong place, right beneath the chin and jawline, an area that typically benefits most from openness and lift rather than additional fabric and volume. This style can inadvertently draw attention to any natural softening beneath the chin rather than lifting away from it. If you're drawn to a bit of texture or detail near the neckline, consider a soft, single-layer ruffle sitting lower on the chest instead, well below the chin and jawline, which delivers similar visual interest without the unflattering bulk concentrated in exactly the wrong spot. Let's recap everything quickly, because I want this to genuinely stick with you the next time you're getting dressed or shopping for something new. For flattering necklines, reach for a V-neck, a scoop neck, a sweetheart neckline, an off-the-shoulder style, a cowl neck, an asymmetrical one-shoulder, or a wrap neckline. Each of these creates length, openness, or gentle diagonal lines that lift the whole face rather than working against it. And genuinely think twice before reaching for a high, tight turtleneck, an overly wide boat neck, or a high ruffled cravat collar, since each of these adds bulk or hard horizontal lines exactly where you don't want them. None of this requires an entirely new wardrobe. It simply requires paying attention to one specific detail the next time you shop, checking the neckline first before anything else, since it's doing more visual work than almost any other single element in your entire outfit. If this video changed how you look at your own closet, that's exactly why I make these videos. So before you go, do me one more favor. Like this video so more women your age can find it too. Drop a comment telling me which flattering neckline you already own, and honestly, which of the 3 to avoid you're guilty of wearing more than you'd like to admit. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time, because next week we're covering another small, overlooked detail that quietly changes how youthful your entire look reads. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. The right neckline was sitting in your closet this whole time. You just needed to know which one to reach for. I will see you in the next one.